Hello and welcome to a decider game of Age of Empires 3D. This is the third game of a best of three between Jelly and Parallel Fifth. This game is from the Age of Sunbros 1v1 tournament, and I'm very excited to say that we have Baltic Sea is the map for this match. An absolutely unique map. You've got this big sea in the middle, and you have two options. You can go round it, or you can go over it. I really like this map. It reminds me a bit of the map Mediterranean from Age of Mythology, with the big sea in the middle taking up almost all of the space. We've got two great civs lined up for this game. Jelly is playing as Mexico, the meme civ, and I say that with absolute love. And we've got Parallel Fifth playing sort of, what was the opposite of the meme civ? The old reliable, the classic civ, the sturdy civ, the stable civ, playing as the Brits. And we have already got 9 villagers on the map for Brits. No deck in yet. And we have already got 8 villagers on the map and a trading post down. That lovely safe pocket trading post next to the free tower that you get on Baltic Sea for Mexico. So Mexico currently 11-10 and not chopping. So could we be seeing a sort of repeat of the first game here? It looks a lot like it because they are still not chopping. I don't think there's a wood treasure coming in or anything like that. So Jelly going up fast with Mexico. 11-10, that really isn't something you see very often. Parallel Fifth, of course, has played Dutch in the first 2 games of this set. So we know they like their eco civs. Has chosen obviously another one here with Brits. Not showing any interest in their trade post at all. I mean, not doing anything interesting at this stage because we're still in, we're still in Age 1, gather up your food, get your 800 to age up territory. It's Jelly who is setting the pace here, having shot off the trading post and then gone 11-10. Paused village of production for quite a while. Is now putting down the house. Don't know whether they got that wood in from treasure or they chopped it. Can't see anything about a wood treasure. I think, yeah, so going to be going up 11-20. Is absolutely wild stuff from Mexico. If we take a little check of the decks, the deck named for Jelly is simply 1v1, and look at this, there are no Age 4 cards, no factories in there, not even. So Jelly has no intention of taking this to Age 4, or perhaps is thinking about a revolution from Age 3. I can't remember the names of those revolutions, but there's there's one nice option, one pretty boring one at that point. Has put the Hacienda, look at this, pretty forward on the halfway line, and has got all the aggressive Age 2 shipments you can possibly imagine. Has got the 9 Musketeer paid shipment, has got machetes to boost up the Insurgentes, has got 4 and 5 villagers, and has got tons of resources. I'm just curious as to whether Jelly has also got 2 shipments stacked up here. Whether Jelly has not kind of scouted into the opponent's section of the map. You're pretty safe from raiding on the land, at least, on this map, because you've only got this tiny little access point to your section. If we look, Parallel Fifth in turn also hasn't really explored into Jelly's section at all, And oh, here we go. It's the military wagon comes out of the hacienda, turns into a saloon. The presence of that saloon makes me think we might be going to Baja California. We'll just wait and see. The 5 Saltadors coming in. Jelly can't do a revolution until those have arrived. Otherwise, he will miss out on the shipment. The outpost wagon getting harassed a bit here by the general. I've just noticed the name of the general might be another clue as to what's about to happen. Jelly is also paid for this trading post here. It's just check. It's an Oldenburg trading post. Gives you the Royal Huntsman, Skirmisher Villager. In age 3, not that I think we're going there. You get the Northern Musketeer. Still has 2 shipments in the bank. So that's 2 shipments on top of these 5 Saltadors that were sent in. Brits also trying to build a forward base here. Going to get the barracks down, protected by the outpost. The Saltadors can't do anything about that. So if we're going Baja, Brits will have a little bit of time to prepare. The Brit Explorer trying to stop this native trade post purchase going through. Of course, the 2 native trade post purchases. We haven't got the native trade post shipment card in deck, and it's not in either of the revolutionary decks for Mexico from H2. So the reason I think that we're seeing those is because Jelly is thinking about annexation, which could be a very, very dramatic end to this best of 3. Some Brit Musketeers are out. They start to siege the trading post, which is not finished building yet because they are very slow to auto-build. They are interrupted by the Saltadors. They come back, the Saltadors back off, they come back a second time. Everyone's coming and going and backing off. Now the trading post is up. Now Brits has another batch of Musketeers out. That's a total of, a total of 10, but down to 6 now because the Saltadors picked them off very, very effectively. We'll just check in on what Brit has been up to. Has got 80 population worth of manor houses, so about 7 bonus villagers so far from manor houses, 26 villagers total. Plays Mexico's 13. Mexico has not even produced villagers continuously since they did that 1120 age up. Mexico sitting on 13 villagers, has 2 shipments stacked. Obviously, loads of really nice H2 shipments available, but one kind of feels like we might be going for a revolution, and that's why they're sitting there stacked up. Mexico has secured both of these trading posts. Going to be quite difficult for Brit to get them down. Brits have the longbows walking in. I think forgot to ship them to the outpost. That's a little bit of a missed opportunity, but they've arrived now. Going to be able to cause problems for these Saltadors. Going to start by putting more pressure on the trade post. The trade post almost at half health, so a little bit vulnerable. The Musketeers too far forward. You need the longbows forward. The longbows are the ones who can scare away these Saltadors. Sort of not brilliant micro there for Brits. They're going to go for another batch of Musketeers. I guess maybe they figure that after the Saltadors are down, that's going to be it, and they can just go Musketeers for the win. Not quite sure about how that's going to work out. Mexico have brought all 13 of their villagers forward. They're mining gold right now. The Baja California revolt is coming in. Here we go. 3 post wagons out for Mexico. They charge in now with the 3 Chinacos, which they also managed to ship just before the revolution, and the Saltadors backing them up. Going to be going in there, doing nice impact to the British Army. Definitely not getting a decisive win with these units. They've also got the 13 filibusters following up as their next move. Outpost wagons are going down on the 2 trading posts and building an outpost in the middle of the map. This is a perfect setup for annexation, but Mexico needs to keep enough units alive to defend these because I don't think they're going to take out this British barracks, and so the Brits are going to have the potential to build up and make a comeback. Annexation's in. Trade monopoly victory started. This is absolutely brilliant. The armies are still skirmishing. We've got a handful of musketeers going up against the filibusters. They're outnumbered and they're going to get killed off. The longbows will be good value and can shoot them from a long distance away, kiting them back and forth. Mexico's now shipping in Walker's gang, going to be getting some random outlaws. Brits have two problems on their hands. They need to deal with this massive filibusters, which I think they've got the resources and the momentum to do so. I think that Mexico isn't likely to take out this barracks, famous last words. Brits preparing a backup barracks just in case, though. But even after they've dealt with these filibusters, Brits have to worry about another Mexico problem, which is annexation. They are on the clock, 4 minutes now. The Wild West Outlaws come out and join the massive filibusters. How many filibusters are left for Mexico? Just 6, but look, they're putting those big, fiery 24 damage siege attacks onto that outpost. The outpost isn't down, though. It's going to keep shooting at the units as they skirmish with the next batch of British musketeers. Brits perhaps panicking a little bit, not batching up their units very effectively. Another 5 musketeers come out. In fact, there are 6 now. They're just going to start fighting with the Mexican units directly. I'd say if you've got the backup barracks, you can sort of sacrifice this one off, buy yourself some time and mass up. You need to beat this army well enough that you can then go on afterwards and take out some trading posts. Mexico have trained some desperados. These are just basically sort of Musk-type outlaws. They've not got amazing HP, but they're pretty cheap. Going to be trading sort of just better than value with these musketeers. Brits is still churning out batch after batch of musketeers. Really good endorsement of their economy, which is up to 40 villagers now. But they need to build up a bit of mass so they can build up a bit of momentum. Oh, this could be it, though. 10 musketeers have popped on top of about 3 or 4 that were still alive from the previous batch. Now they've definitely got the numbers at that batch. They can go and challenge these desperados. I'm not sure they're quite ready to do the outpost yet, but they can finish them up and have a go at the trading post. 2 minutes on the trade monopoly clock now is going to be really, really tight for Brits. Okay, the desperados are all finished. Musketeers need to start working on this trading post now. Brits got more batches of musketeers on the way. It's got a whole batch of 5 coming out in a second. That's going to be nice. 1 trading post is down. The clock keeps on running. I'm just going to pause for a second and count the trade posts. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 for Mexico. 1, 2 not for Mexico. So just 1 more loss and they'll be 3 out of 6. They won't have a majority. That's what Britain need to achieve in the next 1 minute 50. It's going to be really, really tight. I think it might be a little bit tough for them. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, Brits walking their musketeers past the outpost. That's the right thing to do. They're not interested in that outpost. They're interested in this trading post. Their musketeers are there. They're unchallenged. Mexico haven't got any units left. Mexico's shipping out 3 frontier post wagons. So going to be sending 2 of them to build outposts, all 3 of them to build outposts surrounding this trade post. It would be really, really funny for Brits now to just walk the musketeers down to the other outpost at the other end that won't have 3 outposts around it. But I don't think they're going to have time. That said, this trading post is in trouble. The Brits are going to pull it off. They've got enough musketeers. They've got another batch coming in. The trade monopoly victory is finished. Suddenly Mexico have only got a 5k score. It plays Brits 11,000. Brits have got enough musketeers. They've got a mass. Mexico aren't going to be able to build up enough to challenge that for a very long time. And I think it's probably game over for Mexico here. They haven't got any resources left in the bank. They haven't even got the factory. They haven't got any. They've got literally zero population. Jelly throws in the GG, I think. And absolutely big GGs to both players. Big GGs to Jelly. And absolutely absolutely brave thing to go for the Barja and to go for annexation on this map against the British. Really, really exciting to see. There was, I think, about 1 minute, maybe 50 seconds left on the clock when this trading post went down. So it was a real case of closing out by inches. I think Parallel Fifth could have taken a little bit of a breath, taken 30 seconds when Mexico were just pushing around this area, and built up a little bit more of a mass of units, and would have been able to clear out that Mexican mass a little bit more quickly. I think Jelly could have managed his shipments better. I saw quite a lot of shipments stacked up for a while, and I really think that some of them could have been sent more quickly. I also kind of question these 3 outposts as the last gasp shipment. I know that the 7 outlaws had already been used. Maybe that's all you had left. Maybe it needed to be sort of 600 gold or the factory instead of 7 outlaws earlier, and you save that for the last gasp. But absolutely great game. Love to see annexation get played on a decider, a best of 3, and even more so, great to see it getting beaten. No offense to Jelly, but you see a lot of annexation plays go through, a lot of valiant kind of counters to them. Really fun to see an example of how to beat it. Absolutely great game. Really, really fun to cast. GG's to both players. That's it.